Hello students, once again welcome in this video. So today I am going to teach you this chapter, geography lesson written by Zulfikar Ghosh, a class 8 English literature. So I have given some word meanings on the board. All you need to do is to take out your copy and write down these word meanings so that these word meanings help you understand this chapter. So before I explain this chapter line by line, let me tell you something about this chapter, that this chapter is geography lesson. By seeing this, the title, don't think that this is any lesson of your geography subject. Not exactly. This is the lesson of related to a geographical matter which is viewed by the poet from the distance above when he was inside the jet plane and through the window when he was watching the view of the city below. So we'll come to know through this poem. So let's read and explain line by line. You will understand the meaning of it. So before this poem gets started, I've got some lines to read. So let's see what is written here. Can you imagine what your city would look like if you say it if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? So the poet is asking that if you see, your city from above the 10,000 ground, and how does the city look like? So that is what the poet is asking about. So can you imagine that how your city would look like when you saw the city from the distance above, you know, like 10,000 feet above, neatly planned and perfect in proportion like a geographical design. So you would look like your city is neatly planned and perfectly proportioned. Proportion means to say, you know, a quantity of something that is in a part of whole amount. Okay. So from the distance you would find that your city is absolutely in a proper shape, okay, in perfect in proportion and in perfect in geographical design. It would strike you as something very different from what it actually is while you are in the thick of it. Means you while you are in the thick of it, the actual scenario you will find. So there is a difference between when you will be in the city itself and when you will be up above the sky. So you will find a lot of difference between these two things. Okay, that is what the poet is saying here. So here is a poet description of just such a view of the city and some questions that come to his mind. So here is a poet description of just such a view of the city. So poet has described here the view of the city and some questions that come to his mind, and some questions also at the same time when he viewed the city from the above distance. He has also means some questions, okay, he has got in his mind. So let's see what are the questions and how he has seen the city from the distance above. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Seeing it scale 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. When the jet sprang into the sky, sprang means to say flew. Means here the jet plane has taken off, okay, and it has gone the distance above the sky, okay, and when it was in the sky and it was clear from the sky, and the poet was watching or viewing you know through the window of the jet plane, and it was clear to the poet that the city had developed the way it had, the way the city was supposed to be developed. It was developed accordingly and properly or according to the plan. Okay, from the distance it is the clear view. The poet could understand the clear view, clear scenario of the city, that it was properly planned, properly managed. Seeing its scale 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard. So, seeing its scale 6 inches to the mile, when you will go up above the sky, so you will definitely see the things from the distance very small. So that is what happened. Okay, the mile 6 inches to the mile means then the poet could see 1 mile. Okay, means compared to 6 inches, that means 1 mile has become 6 inches from the distance. From the distance, as I have mentioned, that you would see the things smaller, and that is what happened. The poet could see 1 mile as 6 inches. There seemed an inevitability. Inevitability means I have not written the word meaning. Inevitability. Inevitability means that cannot be avoided. That cannot be avoided. Okay, that cannot be avoided. So there seemed an inevitability about on ground what looked haphazard. So that means when you will be in the city, you will see the city haphazard. Haphazard means, so haphazard means chaotic and disorderly manner. Means you will not find any order. Okay, you will find the city in a disorderly manner. The city is absolutely in a chaotic condition. Means not properly arranged. So these things you will find when you will be in the thick of it. When you will be in the middle of the city itself. Okay, or in the city itself, you will find those things. Okay, but so that the poet is saying is there seemed an inevitability means something is there that cannot be avoided. Okay, so which cannot be avoided? The things which is properly arranged, which is means orderly maintained. Okay, from the distance what the poet is viewing, so those things cannot be avoided. That something is there that cannot be avoided. So that is the city is properly maintained, properly arranged according to the order. And what on ground had looked haphazard, as I have mentioned, on ground you will find the things haphazard in a chaotic condition, in a disorderly manner. Okay, unplanned and without style. Unplanned means there is no plan. Without style means you will feel the lack of these things. The city is in chaotic condition, disorderly manner. There is no plan at all. Okay, and there is the lack of styles. Everything you will find. That means that you will find the city in a chaotic condition and disorderly manner. When you will be the thick of the city, when you will be in the city itself. So when the jet sprang into the sky. Okay, same line has been repeated here. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys are populated. The logic of geography that land and water attracted men was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Okay, so at a time comes when jet reached 10,000 feet, and from that 10,000 feet distance, it was clear why the country had cities. Country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. Means from 10,000 feet distance, the poet, it was clear to the poet that why the countries and why the cities, especially in the countries, why the cities has moved. Okay, have moved especially alongside the river. Okay, so there is a geographical reason of the things that the most of the cities have you know what to say grown up, originated alongside the river, because there are so many advantages and convenience the cities get from the river itself, of water sources, and also for plantation, also for crops. So because of these advantages, the cities grows alongside the river. So because of this convenience, the poet is means considering these things, this fact that the cities in the country have grown up mostly alongside the river. and why the valleys were populated. And the poet could understand these things, why the cities have grown up or the cities have been there alongside the river, and why the valleys were populated. Okay, these things the poet could understand properly from the 10 feet, 10, what to say, 1,000 feet distance. The logic of geography that land and water attracted man. This is a logic of geography actually. Means these things attracted man a lot. Means which things attracted men? These things alongside the river, the people started inhabiting. Okay, because of the lot of convenience, lot of facilities they are supposed to get. Okay, that's why these things attracted man, attracted people to settle down in those places. Was clearly delineated. It was clearly delineated, means delineated means here to, it is clearly shown. Okay, it is clearly shown from the 10 feet distance that why the people have gone, alongside the river. The people have settled down alongside the river, and cities also in the cities, and why the people in the valleys, were populated. So he could understand, realize this fact properly. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, he has a clear idea about these things I have mentioned. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round, and it had more sea than land. When the jet rose 6 miles high, when at a time, there was a time when jet came 6 miles high. Okay, the jet rises up 6 miles high. That time it was clear to the poet that the earth was round. That means the more you will rise up the sky, so you will understand the clear view of the earth. Okay, how the earth, the shape of the earth you will get. So that is what happened to them, to the poet, when the poet has risen up 6 miles high, he could understand the real shape of the earth. The earth, that the earth was round, and that it had more sea than land. And he also could understand this fact that the earth has, more sea than land. So we in geography, we read that, one third of the one third of the earth is belongs to, means water, and one is one part is, or one fourth, one third not, means 75% part belongs to water, and 25% part belongs to, the land. The poet could realize these things from 6 mile distance when he has risen of this much distance. So next lines, but it was difficult to understand. Then the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why. So the poet also could understand one more thing along with those things, that it was difficult to understand that the man on earth found causes to hate each other. That the man on earth, found, he could find the man in the, means on the earth, you know means fight each other. Okay, so it was difficult to understand for the poet that why the men, fight each other on the earth. Okay, these things was difficult to understand for the poet. And he also said, and the people on the earth starts hating each other, and start disliking each other, start fighting each other. So these things was unable to understand for the poet. Need to build wall across cities and to kill, and because of which, the people started building walls, okay, across the cities, across the countries. Okay, and sometimes we see that on the planet, the people started, war, and started killing each other. So that is what happened also on earth. So that the poet could, find it difficult to understand. from that height it was not clear. Why? So it was not clear to the poet. So from that much, height, it was a little bit difficult to understand for him the why these things happens, okay, on earth. It was not clear to the poet. So this poem was written by, the Julfikar Ghosh, and we could understood. I hope that you have understood this poem. I have explained it line by line. So all you need to do is to listen this poem again and again. And I have given some word meanings also. You will note down these word meanings on your copy, and you will get by heart those word meanings, and you will go through line by line. You will read this poem line by line, and you will try to understand the meaning of it, and you will get it. So this is what the summary I have explained. I have means line by line meaning I have given. I hope you have understood it. Thank you.